Shut up and sit down.
How to play Tonk.
Have you guys gotten the new Tonk hat on Roblox?
Better. On my bicycle, I go too fast. Little shops that I ride past, the people's faces, they make me laugh.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? How are you guys doing? Today happens to be my birthday, and just like in years past, I typically post a small video.
Can anybody see me?
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with birthday boy Matt LeGrand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von During.
I trample autumn leaves and
So if you're subscribed to the channel, thank you very much.
root beer from my backpack. My shoes are worn, my helmet's loose. I packed a sandwich and some juice.
All the way from
Camas, Washington.
please welcome Prince of Pop, Matt LeGrand.
What's up, Matt? Matt LeGrand, welcome to the show, bro.
139, what's up?
Hi, and welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I am Jake Von During, and I'm here with Lance Hepler.
Lance Romance.
In studio.
Looking stylish.
You can't even think about what to say.
I don't even know what to
You're
say
like,
anymore.
I need to say something quick and witty
I got
and
it,
funny.
and I'm just empty. I'm empty-headed, Lance Romance.
In
Lance,
studio.
what you wearing?
I'm in the lifestyle hoodie from Quarry and Dialed Cycling Team.
Yeah.
Kuari, is that an Italian? No, Swedish. Swiss company.
Yeah.
Switzer company.
Switzer.
A Switzer company.
Switzer.
How do you like that thing?
I love this. This lifestyle hoodie is
That is
fantastic.
one nice piece of kit. I have one as well
You
that
were
I wore
wearing it
yesterday.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to
That
say.
thing was comfortable.
Yeah, it's
That was
comfy.
unexpected that I liked it as much as I did.
Yeah.
Because it's just a hoodie, but a very expensive hoodie.
It's spendy hoodie, but it is nice.
Worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
And to his left, Mr. Matt LeGrand.
Okay. Waiting for some sort of. What is this?
It's your birthday today.
Matt!
It's your birthday.
That's impressive. Nice sound clip. Okay,
Matt!
here's my birthday tip for you guys. I have a birthday tip. Actually, it's not for you guys. This is a birthday tip. First of all,
we've got death metal going on. Don't interrupt.
birthday tip for Lance. Go around to all the coffee shops and sign up for their like birthday free drink thing.
Okay.
And then on your birthday, you just collect all the caffeine and go to a podcast all amped up.
And just bring it.
Extra caffeinated.
Did you hit a couple coffee shops on your way here today?
Really, I've only hit one, but I do like. I was just thinking like because you get these emails, around your birthday,
Yeah.
and it was like free coffee, and I was like, oh, two free coffees is a lot of free coffees.
So you never
But-
have to show your ID to sign up for these things. So why not just sign up for like all the days
Ooh.
before and after your birthday, so you can do like a whole birthday week of coffee?
No, what if you did this? Well, a lot of those things like for Starbucks or whatever, it's a month birthday. Like,
Oh.
so you get this thing like for me, birthday at the end of March. 1st of March, you get this email from them, and it's actually I should look it up and see when it's valid for. But I think it's good for the whole month.
Okay.
So what you could do, sign up 12 times.
Oh, just all year long.
Just a year-long free coffee, like
year
once a
long.
month.
Once a
Once a
month?
month, you get a free coffee. No, you probably could. You could probably abuse the system. Don't abuse the system, people.
So, Matt, how many miles will you be riding your bicycle today?
My plan is to ride 43 miles. Okay, so every year I do like a birthday video, right? So
Yeah.
the first video on my channel is like turning 39. And so I'll try to make one tonight if I can. If not, I'll make it tomorrow, right? And
Or in a couple
every-
weeks.
But tomorrow's not your birthday, Matt.
Yeah, I'll
Come
try
on
and get
now.
it. I'll try and get it out tonight. I'll try and get something quick out tonight. But every year I put out to the audience, I'm like, how old do you think I am? And then I talk about like, I biked 40 miles today, and then I ran 40 minutes, and I did 40 times a 50 in the pool today. And it was a great day, blah, 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 blah. Try and guess how old I am in the comments section below. And people get it wrong every year.
That's not
I'm
possible.
like, hey, I'm loading this thing with lots of hints. I don't know.
What do they usually guess? That's what
They'll guess all over the place,
Okay.
They'll guess like 30 something, and then they'll guess, pretty close
Matt,
to my age. Maybe they're being nice, right?
A person is smart and forgiving and loving and kind. People are stupid.
Get a group of people together, put them on the internet,
and they're stupid.
That's a multiplier if you put them on the internet. So I'm just like, what? Just like, this is kind of like a jokingly, you can guess how old I am. Here's the workout that I did. And they guessed wrong.
Fun.
This one goes out to you, Matt.
Oh.
Today's the birthday of a boy. Born to soar up high.
Yeehaw!
Born to be a friend.
Underneath the wide American sky.
You worked really hard on this for you, Matt.
You guys harmonized.
Me and Jake sung this for you.
You're the high pitched.
I'm the high pitch.
Oh, don't mind.
Gonna be a blue sky, gonna be a happy day.
Wow.
Cookies in the oven, gonna eat about a dozen. Then you can have the hay.
There's a YouTube video along with this that I need to remake with my family. It is hilarious.
Yes. I love it when your family does stuff. Wow.
Happy birthday, Matt.
How many more of these jingles do you have? Is it
I don't know.
Is this the whole podcast?
Maybe. I don't know.
It's like 7 more.
Just us talking over songs.
People are going to be like, I tuned in for this? Oh, boy.
Oh, so we are recording this at an atypical time.
Yes.
On my birthday.
On your birthday.
Matt's birthday.
Yeah, we planned this to a T, right?
Right. We planned this to a T 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. So we normally record on Mondays and they come out on Wednesdays, and we're doing this one a little bit in the past, so we can accommodate for some spring break travels.
Spring break travels.
Yeah. Lance will oddly be in town, and
I will be in
gone.
town for spring break.
Matt, what are you doing for spring break?
Surgery.
Oh.
Oh, no.
We'll get into that in just a second. So
Yes.
we normally backpedal. There's nothing to backpedal because we just recorded a podcast yesterday. We already talked about this. So
yesterday.
You can forward pedal.
yeah, unless Matt has some backpedal stuff because Matt wasn't able to join the podcast yesterday.
I've been working a lot.
But the opposite of backpedal is forward pedal or just pedaling. You want to go? You want to go pedaling?
Probably
You want
pedaling.
to pedal some of your wares here?
Forward
Pedal first. Matt, you
sweet
got
spot
the
pedal.
surgeries coming up, huh?
Yeah, instead of spring break, I mean, I guess like we might do something little, but nothing big. And my plan is to have Achilles surgery, which I'm not excited about, but basically the same surgery that I had on my left leg, we're going to do on the right. So it's like a Haugen's deformity. So it's like a little piece of bone that they're going to get rid of.
But it worked on your left leg.
Yeah. I mean,
But
I can walk way better with this left leg.
But you're at
than
a
the right
point
leg.
though that you have to do it. You can't keep cutting out the heels of your shoes to walk
Well,
around.
yes, the cutting out the heels of the shoes is exactly what that is. The whatever half-ass solution. I don't know how to describe it, but like yes, so that
It's
takes
the
pressure
non-surgical
off of,
solution.
Well, it's that, but it's like also just not even being able to walk at this point. Like it's just gotten so bad that I'm like hobbling everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And so, I can still walk, 5,000 steps in a day, but like a lot of days you're just like, oh, this is so bad that I was like, you know what? This left one I can at least walk with. If we can get the right one there, that'll be a step in the right direction. So I don't know how the running's going to go in the future, but we'll see.
So the one that you did have surgically repaired, when you run on that, how does that feel?
I think it's hard to know because the other one is so bad that like you're basically giving this one. Yeah, you're compensating, but then you're also running less because this one's bad or you're not running very much.
Yeah.
And so right now I'm like, this one feels great, but I'm not really running very much. And so I think that when I get running, which who knows if that'll even ever happen, but like 7-8 miles in, the Achilles here will still kind of act up a little bit. But it's not like I'm going to jump back to doing 100-mile weeks. Who knows? But this will be like at least going, hopefully, from not being able to walk much to being able to walk. And I started to think, I was like, dude, maybe I'll just get into walking. Like, I know that doesn't sound too exciting, but I could bring camera stuff and go walk around.
What about, does hiking bother? I mean,
I can't hike right now. Yeah, I can't.
But once you have your surgery, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, so things like ski boots you can't do.
Yeah.
Shoes. Can't wear shoes. Like the shoes I wear, you guys have seen these all the time. They like have no heels on them.
Yes.
Matt literally like just cut the heels off
all the time, and I do. I like cut. for a long time, I was biking around with a bike shoe with no heel on it. And people would just look at me like, well, you must really love your socks. Or, they'd probably say something funnier than that. But yeah,
it's good for transition, man.
Weird things. So anyway, April 7th, I'm going to have surgery. I'm really nervous about it because it's painful and...
Yeah, surgery always sucks.
You'll be in a boot for a while, I'm guessing?
I'll be in a cast and then a boot. And then, I'm really bummed about it.
How long did it take you to rebound after the last surgery on the other leg?
I started trying to run after about 3 months. And then I was really running after a year.
Okay.
Like back to normal running, which was good. And I did an Ironman after that surgery.
Yeah.
So
now, is this all just accumulation of wear and tear on your body from running God knows how many miles over the course of like most of your life? Or is this...
I don't know. That's a great question. I think that there's probably a lot of stuff going on. There's probably some of both where it's like you hurt your Achilles and then you just kept running on it. And then there's other things too where typically anytime you have like pressure on a bone or anything like that, it'll stimulate the bone to grow. Yes. So, there could be just something about like wear and tear from running and running shoes and putting pressure on the back of the heel that way that got it, moving enough that it irritated the Achilles or tightness of the hamstring in the calves and things like that are causing the Achilles to push against the bone that just has a little bit of be like a bone deformity, right? A little piece to the bone.
And they need to go in and shave that piece off.
Yeah, and they do it. It's actually horrible. Actually, when I did this surgery before, I was awake for it, which was really, I kind of like it. This time I will not be awake for it, but they take like a chisel and a hammer, and they're like,
wow.
And it's like, it's kind of weird.
You can feel it.
Oh yeah, it's like shaking your whole leg.
Yeah, right.
When you're awake, but you're numb or whatever, so you can't feel it. But like, it's so awkward, and it's medieval if you think about it. I kind of think that all of, a lot of surgeries are very like medieval.
Oh, it's
like we're gonna take a
especially
sledgehammer. Ortho. It's the ortho.
They bring
people.
out the giant drill bits,
chisels,
and hammers,
Dremel, and
that's what ortho is.
It's
you want to put a bolt in a femur? Well, we need to drill a hole for it. We need to drill a pilot hole and then pull out the Makita. And
so I've got 3 titanium screws that go through my femoral neck and my right thigh or right hip. And I can remember seeing pictures or images of like the drill bit going into this screw that's got a screw already. There's 3 of them already all the way sunken into the femoral neck, and you could see the bit going in there because they were checking to make sure that the alignment was good. And you can see like Home Depot's in my hip here right now. What's going on with that?
Right.
And
you're like, hey, I have the same drill in my garage.
Doctor showed me pictures, like all proud of it, like, yeah, I nailed this one. It was perfect. He's winning really well. Yeah. And I'm like looking at the hardware and the
drill bit,
and I'm like. Oh,
okay. I didn't need to see that.
You see like a little like price tag Home Depot.
Yeah.
I'm
Makita.
Sure Makita. You could have sprung for something a little bit nicer than Makita.
That's right.
So Matt, what I'm hearing you say is that running sucks. It's terrible on your body. You're going to break down, and you should only ride your bike.
Yes.
Science.
That's science.
I did ride the flogging ride.
You did,
and I texted Jake. You weren't in town, maybe.
I was gone. Yeah.
I texted Jake and I was like, hey, going for an easy, just real short. I only have a little bit of time. I'm going for like a little easy ride. And he was like, do you mean by easy? Do you mean flogging ride? It's Thursday. They're starting up. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I could swing by. And I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll ride out with the first group and I'll just find a quick spot to turn around because I've got to be home by, 6:15. And your brain turns off in those rides.
Oh yeah.
And
you end up all the way out.
I look and I'm like way out. There's that maybe like Seventh-day Adventist church that's way out there. That's when I looked at the clock and I saw 6:15 and I'm like, damn.
Whoops. I'm gonna be a half an hour late.
And then at that point, got to gear up for the next sprint, right?
Yeah.
You're stupid. But then you get to the stop there and you're like, well, the fastest way home is with the group, right? At
right.
that point, so you might as well just stick with it. Yeah, I texted my wife and I was like, I'm not going to make it.
How did that go over?
She hates me.
Oh, as all of our wives do from time to time.
Yeah. I had a little incident with my wife.
Oh
this
boy.
weekend, too.
Well, you guys.
I'm
have
sorry,
been
Brandy.
you've
I
been
love
on the
you
road
so
for
much,
a long time.
and I was wrong. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is, it doesn't matter.
No.
I was wrong, and I apologize.
She's not going to listen to this.
She probably won't, unless I'm also listening. And no, never mind.
So you were on the road for 5 weeks?
Like 5 weeks.
That's crazy.
It was a long time.
That's good.
I got it got funky in the van.
Yeah.
That's 35 days that you're in the van now. And here's the funny part: is he was down in Mesa, Arizona. His sister
Right.
has a beautiful house down there next to your old
Harvey Glantz.
Exactly, house
right next door to
Beautiful
Harvey
back-
Glantz.
Love Harvey
Beautiful
Glantz.
backyard, beautiful swimming pool, great house. Lance, where did you sleep every
We
night?
slept in the van every night.
Well, you're
And
comfortable there.
His sister's gone and out of town. There's nobody there.
The house was empty.
Yeah.
We were there
Oh,
for
wow.
like 2 weeks. The house was empty, but yeah, we would, it just was easier to sleep in the van.
Yeah.
So, but we got to, there were showers and
Yeah.
laundry and a pool.
And
What did the neighbors
refrigerator,
say
all the
though? Like
things.
you guys come like pouring out of the van at like
The
7:30 in the
What
morning.
did Harvey Glantz say?
it's only Harvey that could see us. We were,
Oh, really?
It was just parked between
I can't
us and
believe
Harvey's house.
that Harvey is like the neighbor of your sister. How small of a world is this?
It's like, I'm out on my bike and I come riding back and he's like, I'm like, hey Harvey, how you doing? He's like, oh, you're getting after it, I see. That's what
He's like, can never get the coach out of the.
no.
He's
He's like,
never
oh,
let
getting
it go.
done. Yep, I'm getting it done today.
Yeah, he didn't coach me as directly because he was
Sprint
on the
coach.
sprint side.
Yeah.
But he was good with the sprinters. I think he was good with them. Like, get him out there.
He was
get
right.
it done.
It was cool to meet him.
The SEC, he had so many sayings. The SEC, they don't have down years. They don't recruit they reload. We're reloading next year. He had like 1,000 different sayings that we would just quote all the time.
All the isms, huh? Love it. Anything else to peddle for us, Matt?
Well, we usually have Evan here, and he asks us what I'm drinking, and so
You're drinking all the things today, literally. He's got uppers,
Matt's loaded.
downers, sidewaysers.
sideways, going sideways. Yes, I showed up here, and on next to the microphone was the Hoppy Anniversary Ale from Sierra Nevada.
Happy anniversary of your birth. It's like a celebratory beer.
and seriously, I guess Sierra Nevada and I are similar in age, right?
That's his 40th year, right? And you're
Limited
43.
edition.
How about that?
So are you.
Well, established
Limited edition.
19. Okay, so this was established 1980. So this beer has been sitting around for a while.
Minutes, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. So we are very similar in age, Sierra Nevada and I. And I have a Kirkland water because they're sponsors, so you just got to represent.
You gotta represent.
And I have one of those coffees that were free.
Free coffees on the way
Those
over here.
free
Up,
coffees.
down, and all around, Mr. Matt LeGrand.
Once a month, free coffees, people.
Excellent.
I love it.
Lance, do you want to pedal?
What if? Do I have anything to pedal about?
You're not going anywhere?
You're going to be
I-
racing your bicycle this
I
week,
will-
and you can talk about a race that you're going to be doing, not a race that you did.
So, Mudslinger happened. When you hear this, Mudslinger will have happened, which is a 18-mile-ish race with 2,700 feet of climbing.
Yeah.
So it's a mountain
Wow.
bike race. It's so a lot of climbing with it. I will have sucked and probably did not make the podium. I'm almost positive that's going to be the case. I
Will there be mud?
There will probably not be mud. It is in a forested area, but we're really not having any rain this whole week.
There's little bits of rain supposed to come through this week, but we'll see.
I did see that there's one tree that blocks part of the trail, and you end up having to hike around the tree. But they were able to remove that section.
Okay.
I saw that, so it might be a little bit faster this year.
Sounds
Are you going to pre-ride the course?
I'm not going to pre-ride it.
Yeah.
I've ridden it like 4 times or something, so I know the course. There's like one new section, but it's all good.
He'll pre-ride it.
I'll probably pre-ride it. I will go down Friday and ride
Yeah.
sections of it.
Did you say
and
that's
then
this
race.
weekend?
It's this Saturday. It happened last Saturday. If you're listening to this,
So
Weather looks clear
yeah.
ish.
So it looks clear.
your usual little counterpart over there that you're always duking out with Court,
Yes.
will he be there?
Court will be there, and this is a race that Scott Carroll always does as
really
well. And I have not beat Court or Scott at this race ever.
You know who else is going to be fast at this race? Terry Hamness.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Terry Hamness.
Terry Hamness is going to listen to this, and he's going to blush a little bit, and he's say, "Oh, guys, stop." Terry's fast right now.
Terry's fast
fit.
right
He
now.
is super fit, like I've never seen before, and it's fun seeing him find like new territories of like fitness that I don't know he's necessarily ever had before. And I
Yes.
think a big part of that was the gains that he got from training camp.
Yes.
He's gonna have a fun season. I
Oh, yeah.
think.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
gonna be
he
a fun summer for
landed
him.
on the podium at Echo. That
was
was
second at
fantastic.
Echo, yes.
and I
Wow.
think he's going to do as good, if not better.
And at Mudslinger, there's a lot of climbing, but most of the climbing is on double track gravel roads.
Okay.
So it's not like
Oh, that's
you get stuck behind people.
Sure.
So, and he's climbing really well, and he can descend like crazy.
Yeah,
so.
he's got some mad bike handling skills. Ex motocross pro guy. So,
Terry and I, we've raced a lot
Yeah.
together. In the last couple years, he has not beat me.
Uh-oh. It's
That
coming.
is going to change this year. It's going to change this
well,
year.
you never know what kind of race you're going to have, but I mean, would it be fair to say though that the podium is Scott and Court and potentially Terry? I mean,
yes.
how far off the podium was he last year, or was he pretty close?
Who? Terry? He was right on my tail by like a minute or two.
Okay,
In a hour and 15-minute race.
gotcha.
But it was time trial last year.
Oh, that's right.
So
huh?
it was not,
yeah.
and it'll be a wave group start, so it'll be different. So whatever happened, I bet Terry made the podium with Scott and Court, banning any mechanical issue.
It'll be fun to see if our predictions come to fruition.
Yeah. Who else out there could be a disturbance for this? Is Danny going to be racing that race?
Danny is not on the start list as what I saw this morning.
Okay.
But he races in the Cat 1 45 plus field.
Oh, he does.
And the rest of us
50
losers,
plus.
we race in the Cat 2 50 to 59 field. So he usually races in that Cat 1 field.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha.
it should be interesting. I had this conversation with Terry. I'm like, Terry, I'm so stoked for you this year. I think this is really going to be your year. You are going to crush me this year. I'm sure of it. But I'm not going to just let you.
Yeah. You can die trying.
I'm not going to just give it to you.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Turn yourself inside
I'm
out.
going to turn myself inside out to try to stay, ahead of you, which, that's racing. That's what we do when we race, which is fine. But his comment to me was, look, I may be fitter and faster than you, but I don't have your will. That's what he said to me.
We'll
and I'm
see.
like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, I think it's my lack of self-preservation skills, especially on downhills, or my willingness to just completely bury myself in a race situation. He's like, I don't really quite, that's not like built into me, is what Terry said. And I'm like,
Maybe he's smart.
No.
Maybe he's not going to kill himself on the.
it's quite possible. It's quite possible.
So
So
be fun watching. I've
been
really
killing
enjoyed
it.
watching him get faster.
Yep.
That's been
same
good stuff.
I'm super stoked for Terry.
What about any travels after that?
A couple of my kids are graduated from college at the
End of May?
End of May.
Yeah.
So that's the next big.
Memorial
I remember
weekend.
you were talking about that. Like you were going to go.
We have to go to Pullman. We're going to be
You have to do something. Two
like,
graduations the same weekend.
One's
or
like in
something.
Thursday and one's on
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to be in Pullman.
There's like 800 miles between the two.
Yes, and then going to Provo. The problem with Pullman and graduation, Pullman's a tiny town.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's no hotel rooms.
You got the van.
I know, but like all this family's coming,
Oh.
and they're like, "Where do we stay?" Like, there's no Airbnbs. Everything's taken.
Huh.
Like, you can rent somebody's spare room in their house for like $400 a night, and you don't even get a kitchen or your
Rent
own
RVs.
bathroom.
Rent RVs and trailers.
There's also nowhere to park RVs or trailers. I mean, like, I'm parking in like my daughter's like on the street. Anyway.
Oh. That's interesting.
That's an issue with Pullman. It's too small.
Yeah.
They don't have enough hotel rooms. So anyway,
That's interesting. You'd think that they would have hotels enough to cover events because they do have like football. I mean, they have lots of events.
Tailgating is gigantic
Right.
there. And they turn all the all the school parking lots all turn into RV parks for football game weekends at Washington State. So if you're a football fan and have football tickets,
are we gonna invest in a hotel startup somehow in Pullman?
There's a Marriott there, and we can't ever get into it because it's jacked.
We just need to like drop a second one right next to it.
Yeah. The problem is like 70% of the year it's empty.
I don't know. You've got fall football, and then you've got graduations and other. I mean, that's
and Dad's weekend and Mom's weekend.
Yeah.
And but it's not nearly. It's a conundrum.
Yeah.
This has been Graduation and RV Talk, brought to you by Lance Hepler.
Sorry.
Good stuff.
Yeah. No.
I think the main reason why we're doing this today is because I'm not going to be here next week.
Where are you going?
I'm going to San Antonio, Texas.
What?
What's going on in San Antonio?
Spring break.
Spring break. Wait, okay.
A lot of people go to San Antonio for spring break.
Wait, it's not far from Galveston. No, that's Houston.
No.
That's Houston.
They're pretty far away. Wait. Am I getting my
we were looking San Antonio.
We were looking at all different kinds of places to take the kids for spring break.
It's an interesting choice.
We almost went to Hawaii, but it just wasn't going to work out. And my wife and I really want to go to Kauai, but there's not a lot of stuff to do there for the kids. And we were like working all the different angles, and we just couldn't make it fit right for everybody. So we said, you know what? This is way too expensive for us to not have it be just right. And then we started to look at other options. And of course, it always defaults with my family back to let's go to Disneyland or let's go to Disney World.
Yeah, sure, right.
And those are fine and well, but have you looked at how much it costs to stay at a Disneyland hotel these days?
No. It's probably insane.
For I think it was like 4 nights. It was going to be for 2 rooms, like $3,500 for hotels.
Here's the other problem with Disney World and Disneyland right now is they are slammed.
Well, you have to buy tickets because they only have so many that they'll sell.
You have to buy tickets and get a reservation for the park to get in. So it's not.
We would have had those too, and the tickets alone were going to cost over $2,000.
Yeah.
So like, just for a hotel and to have access to go into the park to spend even more money was going to be like way too much money. We're like, let's do something different. And so I like kind of just like cleared off the whole board. Started looking at other options, looking at other places to stay, and like where's somewhere warm because we want to go somewhere warm. We get some sun.
Should be warm in San Antonio. And
I just plugged in Texas, and then I'm like, oh, there's a couple things here. And then my wife posted something up on Facebook like, hey, we're considering going to Texas for spring break. Don't ask why. I just want to try something new because we haven't really spent much time there. And
it's kind of cool.
And she started getting all these responses, and like she had, it was probably 50 responses.
Oh wow!
And like. Not everybody, but a vast majority of people are saying go to San Antonio. And so we started to look, and they've got the riverfront down there. It's
they have this like little riverfront tour thing that you can do these boat rides.
Yeah, and we're going to do one of those. Like we're going to have dinner on that. There's the Alamos there. I've never seen that before. There's Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's an hour and 15-minute drive from Austin, Texas. We're going to go check that out too because she's got.
Is it that close to Austin?
It's that
Texas?
close to Austin.
I thought Austin was like
right there.
way further. Okay, well,
so we're gonna go check out all the stuff.
How much I know.
And I wasn't gonna bring my bike, and my wife's like, "Oh yeah," and then we can bring your bike, and then we're gonna do this, and you can go ride. I'm like, "Okay." So that worked out really well because I'm gonna take the gravel bike with me, and I'll go find some stuff out there to do. And I've got to get rides in because we've got a race coming up a few weeks after that. So I get to go there and ride bikes, and I'm gonna take all my camera stuff and do pictures, and I don't know, it should be fun. So. And the kids seemed pretty stoked on it. First, when we told them, like, we're going to go to San Antonio. And they're like, what? And then we started telling them all the things like, oh, wait. Oh, and they did Six Flags Magic Mountain. My son got all excited and talking about all the shopping things that the girls can go. And they're all stoked on it. So
that would be very cool.
cool.
Austin is also very cool.
That's what I've heard.
I've spent quite a bit of time there. They have a great like waterfront, like around a river along there.
Sure.
There's a bridge that has a bat colony that lives in it.
Wow.
And so every night at dusk, you can watch the bats flying into the Congress Street Bridge, if I'm thinking right. Mm-hmm. So
Isn't that where the other Lance lives?
Lance Armstrong used to live there.
Oh, used to there?
Yes. He lived there for most of his career. He moved to Aspen.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I think he still has a home in Austin.
Sure.
And he still owns his bike shop in Austin.
Oh, Floyd's.
Okay. No, it's called Mellow Johnny's.
Oh, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Floyd's is
Floyd's is the CBD
exactly.
company.
They're not exactly friends.
No, they're not friends.
Wrong one.
Yeah, they're buds.
So
this has been Texas Talk.
Texas Talk.
Anyway, that should be fun.
Flights are also expensive anywhere. So like your trip to Hawaii would have been expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were supposed to go to Hawaii in 2020. And we had to shut that whole thing down, and we'd already purchased all the flights, and they're not going to give you your money back. So they gave us back vouchers in the way of points that we could use. So we've been slowly bleeding those things dry over the last 2 years, but we still have plenty of points to go. And it wasn't actually that bad. I mean, the way that it worked out, it wasn't terrible.
Now's the time to spend the points instead of spending money on the flights, because I think flights are going to be. Like this summer we were looking at some flights, and it's going to be a nightmare.
Yeah, with the cost of fuel right now, it's pretty nuts. So and then everybody and his brother's traveling, so they're going to bump the prices up anyway. So yeah,
it's all exploding.
Yep. Cool.
Good time to have a van.
Except gas prices are stupid.
Still expensive, but still, I mean, like compared to flying,
Yes.
maybe I don't know, maybe not.
No,
Get an electric van.
It's much better.
Put a little battery in that thing. AA.
Yeah, maybe just plug that thing in.
Hey, do we want to do any lead out news? You want to talk about any races coming up to keep an eye on? Is there anything that you wanted to talk about?
Tour of Flanders happened.
Will happen, but happened.
Well, it was going to happen. It is. When you're listening to this, it has happened.
Yeah.
I don't know who won.
Who won?
Wout Van Aert won.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yes. Pogacar looks amazing.
Pogacar looks good.
I mean, it just
Vanderpool is going to be in it.
God, that dude.
It's driving me crazy. Like, he's good at everything.
He's good at everything, but like you don't
classics.
see him, and he comes to Milan San Remo and lands on the freaking podium after being like
Vanderpool. He was one of the few at Milan San Remo in the sprint group that really went for it. When there was like 10 guys in the sprinter group that were 3 seconds behind the winner, and he was one that like really like I just dug in. The other guy, like Wout, was like, forget it.
I just don't think that you see like tour winners do that very frequently. Am I right about that, or is that not
For
the case?
Pogacar?
Yeah, for Pogacar to be in the thick of it with 1K to go or wherever he was. I mean, that seems weird to me.
He is.
It's cool. It's
something
cool
else.
It's cool that he's doing it because he could get hurt, and that would be a big disappointment to the financial investment that is his team.
Evenepoel.
Yeah.
Remco. He crashed pretty hard and got hurt and lost like almost 2 years because of it.
Yeah.
So,
did you guys see that list of how much pro cyclists are making right now?
Oh yes,
he's right at the top of that. What is it, like 6?
Pogacar?
Yeah, 6 million or something like that.
Yep, he's making $6 million a year. Do you see who was second on that list?
Sagan.
Chris Froome.
Oh wait, Froome. Yeah, that's right. But Sagan's pretty high up there too.
On the list too.
Yeah. How do you think Israel startup feels about all the money they've been paying for Chris Froome?
Well,
I don't even know. Like, sometimes I think it doesn't matter if they win as long as they get camera time and exposure, and he's still got the name.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you've won the tour 4 times. Yeah.
I think out of that top 10 list, there were like 5 Ineos riders on that list.
They got the budget, man.
They've got the budget.
Ooh. Bernal rode outside yesterday with his team.
Yes.
Wow.
That seems crazy.
Was it Evan that's like he's gonna line up at the starting line?
Yes, he thinks he's gonna start.
100%. Evan's like all in on that. He rode with the team yesterday, and he said it was the happiest day of his life, or happiest moment of his life to get back out there and ride with the teammates.
Good for him,
dude.
I hope
that dude smacked in the side of a bus going almost 40 miles an hour and broke God knows how many bones.
Femur.
Exactly,
and his back.
Yes. And he's out there riding with his team. And this was like, what, 6-7 weeks ago? 8 weeks ago?
I don't know.
Something like that.
That is insane.
I just hope
good doctors.
Yeah, hope that he gets better. I would love to see him start. I don't think it'll happen. But, I mean, if he does any Grand Tours, that would be amazing this year.
You're never going to hear the end of it.
From Evan?
If he lines up.
Evan's predictions, though, are like, that's a strike against
it's exactly to know what not to do.
Right. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Anything else you want to talk about in the news land?
No, because we're just guessing.
That's even better. I can't wait for our like tour predictions and all that stuff to start up. It's not that long. It's not that far away.
It's not, actually.
It's actually really exciting. Oh, I can't wait to do like just a month of watching cycling. The rest of the world needs to like shut down.
Yeah, and like in about 2 months, 2.5 months, we got to do all of our TDF picks and get the pool going again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to have that set up so listeners can jump in there with us.
Oh yeah,
that'd be fantastic.
We did not screw up and get into the pool that's all by myself because Evan sent me the wrong link.
All right, so this podcast episode is a little loosey-goosey, so we're going to go back to doing this whole guys thing.
Oh, Megadeth birthday. Megadeth.
Birthday today.
Matt!
So weird. So you must have like Googled around like death metal birthday, Matt.
No, Lance and I made that
Yeah.
this morning. We got up early.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys got up early. It was worth it.
Yeah, my throat is a little hoarse.
It sounds a little off,
So
especially in the recording.
it's going to be a podcast about nothing, but it's going to be about Matt. Not that you're nothing, but we're going to talk about some stuff.
Okay.
But first,
Some things.
I did bring a gift for Matt.
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
It's been riding around in my pocket.
I was wondering what I was gonna get, and
This is what I brought for you.
Oh, actually, this is cool. Is this from Arizona?
I brought. If you listen to the last podcast, we talked about rock hounding for like 20 minutes because
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I brought Matt a rock. I gave him a rock. So this is a piece of. It's called Bullseye Jasper.
Okay, cool.
And
Bullseye.
Bullseye Jasper. I chipped that off a boulder.
No way.
Yes,
Really?
I chipped that off a boulder that was the size of this table.
Wow.
And then you
Using-
polished it.
And then I tumbled it for a month. It takes a
Wow.
month to make them shiny
Wait.
and smooth like that.
You would you throw it in your dryer or something?
No, I have a rock
Rock
tumbler.
tumbler.
Seriously?
I have a rock
You know-
tumbler.
wait.
That thing like goes nonstop for
Yeah.
20
Yes,
for a month. That was
for a month. So
you have
there's
to like stop and like put in different like grains and things.
there's
It's-
4 different grits,
Grits,
of
sorry.
Yeah, 4 different
like
grits
sand.
of
How do
sand.
you know all this stuff, Matt?
You don't wait.
You've been
Am
hanging
I
out the Hepper compound?
You're the only one at the table that doesn't know about rock tumblers. Okay, so
Yeah.
so you're the odd man out.
That's right.
Maybe I am.
No, we have a rock tumbler. Like, didn't you come over to my house one time and you were maybe
I
with someone
think
else?
so.
It's like,
Wait,
what's that
You
noise?
own a rock tumbler as well?
Maybe I
Holy
do.
smokes.
What if
So
I did? I have a.
They sell
kid
like
version.
kiddie versions of rock tumblers. You can go to your gravel driveway and put rocks in there and try to make them shiny. I have like
his industrial.
I have like an industrial
a
version.
real man's version.
How much did you spend on your rock tumbler there, Hep?
It was a gift from my wife.
How much did Brandy spend on that
Take
rock
a
tumbler?
guess. $500.
No, I think it's like $250.
Okay, that's not bad.
That's not terrible.
Yeah.
For how
not
much you
cheap,
guys?
but-
For how much that you guys do?
It's,
Like
the rock
hounding?
tumbler has been spinning constantly for the last year.
Wow.
Seriously?
Yes, because you're supposed to run each grit for like a week.
Yeah.
And then you have to rinse everything off and clean it and put in the next grit. And my rock tumbler's like a quart size. It's not very huge.
Now, I'm surprised you don't have 4 of them lined up
I
with all the
need-
different
Oh,
things.
that's actually
so
a
I
it's
good
need
progressive.
another one.
Why don't you do that? Why don't you do 4?
I need more. I because they're $500 a
Sell
piece.
some of your what are the agates or something like that.
Agates,
Go
yes.
sell some of those things and buy yourself some rock tumblers.
Yeah.
So we
So
have
hey-
we have the kids National Geographic version of it. I don't know how much it costs. I have no idea actually. My wife loves it more than the kids.
Oh wow!
So I think that
It's
like
just cool.
yeah, no, it's so funny because her big thing is like she wants to like wander around the beaches and collect all the rocks and glass and stuff and then every once in a while I'm like, why is this rock tumbler going in our garage? It's because she turned it on and wanted to.
She's
And
tumbling
she
something.
pretends like it's the kids, but it's really her.
So yeah,
This is cool. I'm gonna put it on my desk. I think
This came out
So my kids
of
steal it from me.
the town of Goldfield, Nevada.
Okay.
Which is in like central Nevada. It's not near anything. It was a gold rush town in the 1900s.
Okay.
But about 4 miles from town is this little mining claim where you can find this type of jasper, and it polishes up really nice.
It's
so
a really pretty rock.
yeah, it's like orange and pink and red, and it
Looks like something you made or painted. It looks like some
It
little
does. It looks
piece
fake.
of rock that you found, and then Brandy put some like kick-ass paint job on it and made
Yeah.
it look all different and cool.
So
it looks fake.
It does.
Brandy
real.
and Lance gave my kids each a rock.
Oh yeah, when we were in Oceanside.
Oceanside. Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
My kids are all in on like all the things.
What did we give them? Was it?
I don't know the names of the rocks. I'm not a true rock hounder.
I'm disappointed.
If I knew the names of any of these rocks, like I already forgot this one. This one is
Bullseye.
Jasmine.
Jasper.
No.
Bullseye Jasper.
Jasper Tea. Jasmine Tea, I think is the name of this one.
Close enough. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's my
rad.
That's my gift.
Thank you.
That took
and
many,
I assume
many
that
hours.
Jake gave me the beer.
Jake gave you the beer.
It's pretty nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice
Worked-
gifts.
Worked hard on that.
I feel like, yes.
I actually bled and sweat for this piece of rock. So
Literally bled for that,
yeah,
huh?
you're chipping rock chunks off a huge boulder. You know.
Actually,
there's injuries.
Jake sweat and bled into this.
Into the beer.
Yeah.
Into this beer. So
Put the cap back on it.
you just sweat and bled onto who knows what.
Yeah, it's just
Jake's
ran
gift.
blood. Yeah, that's a
you
good
know.
point. Yeah, good point.
All right, so this week we're going to talk about some things that
Okay.
Matt has accomplished in his illustrious
yeah.
career of
Short podcast.
being a human being.
Short
So,
podcast.
Got a little list here, and we
Okay.
figure that we'll get through like 2 or 3 of these things, maybe all of them, but they'll spawn some conversations. So this will be the podcast about nothing, but will ultimately be about everything Matt.
Everything Matt.
So
it's your birthday.
That's so funny, isn't it?
Matt.
How many people have heavy metal?
We're going to just
birthday
put these
songs?
things out there, and we want you
Okay.
just to tell us about them.
Sure.
So, like
Go.
some big accomplishments. If we miss something, you must tell us.
Okay,
All
sure.
right. The first
I
one,
have no secrets.
high school state champion.
Oh yeah.
In the Jurassic period of high school sports, Matt
was
LeGrand.
It was a rough time in running. I will say that. Like, if you ran at all, you were state champion.
Yep.
Because in Alabama, like mostly you're looking at football, and then running is not super popular. And then also, I would say in the '90s, gosh, people were slow. Like people were very.
We're not.
No. Hear me out.
No. Matt,
no.
You know what it takes to
80s?
become a state champion?
80s people were fast. In the 80s, you got people like Salazar, like just crushing everything, like just destroying stuff. People were running
Yeah,
like 120
kidding.
miles a week in high school. In the 90s, the mantra was like, it's better for you if you don't run that much. Like that was the mantra, and everyone's like, yeah, you shouldn't really run very much. And so like I would be like, well, I kind of like to run, and so I'm running like 70 miles a week. Oh, state champion. But yeah. So
What's one big takeaway
True.
from being a state champion cross country runner? What's one thing that you kind of like still to this day kind of lean on a little bit? I know it's kind of a big question.
So yeah, I don't. With my brain power, I don't remember much, but I do remember like the first time I won state because it was like one of those crazy moments.
First
where-
time,
Yeah.
multiple times,
Yeah.
multiple time. Okay.
So I was young and unranked. I was not ranked in the top 10. And I ran. So this was a very like difficult course. It was kind of on this, I don't even know. Like maybe it was like a golf course that was just abandoned or something. Like it was in this weird field, and it was like this just massive hills. And so you do this first loop that's a mile, and I like found myself in the top like 4, and I was like, this is weird. And then you hit this hill, and it's kind of like the hill that's like by my house. Like it's just like massive, just steep. And we had done a lot of hill training, and I was like, I guess I'm taking the lead of this race. And this is about 1.25 miles into the race. And you get to the top, and like, you start cruising down, and my coach is just like, keep going.
Just keep
Keep
going.
going. Because I looked at her like just like freaked out, scared out of my mind. And so I just was like, okay, just keep going, I guess. Like you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like if you've never let her.
The plan wasn't to be leading.
No. There was no plan.
There was no plan.
There was no plan. It was just like all. And then so after that, everyone knew who you were and like gunned for you, or like at least knew like that you were going to be in the mix or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then after that, there was more pressure, and the races were, less fun in some ways
Yes.
because there's always like that, like, you're not really happy unless you win and that kind of stuff. And so
Yes.
the first one was
Special.
the best. It was cool.
That's
it was
awesome.
just a cool experience. And then we were in the paper and all that stuff. It was cool.
Gotcha.
I still didn't find anybody in Alabama who knew you.
Well, just have a glance. Just have a glance.
Except Harvey.
Everyone leaves Alabama. They go to Arizona.
That's right.
So another one of your big accomplishments was, obviously multiple-time state championship.
You didn't even know that, did you?
Matt LeGrand. I knew it was one. I didn't.
Multi-time.
You probably told us before, but my memory sucks.
No.
So you parlayed that into a 4-year collegiate Division I cross
Some
country.
people do college in 4 years. I did 5. No, I did. I did 4 years at the University of Richmond, and then you have 5 years of eligibility.
Yeah.
Sort of like you can do 4 years of competition. And what's interesting about running is you do cross country is a season, indoor track is a season, and outdoor track is a season. So you can skip throughout the 4 years, you can skip, one of them or whatever.
And still have eligibility
You have
backside.
a full year left at your 5th year. And so then I went to graduate school at the University of Alabama, which is where I met Harvey Glantz.
Ah, okay.
And Harvey Glantz did not like me at all when we first met, because the first thing I did was I went in and I sat down and I was talking to the distance coach, and I was like, so, I train a lot, like more than most people. I was like, I sometimes do, I do, 100-mile, 120-mile weeks, like sometimes more. And he was just like, okay, shh, don't, okay. And because Harvey Glantz was next to him. And like, as soon as I left the room, supposedly Harvey Glantz was like, looked over at the head coach, Joe Walker, or the head coach for distance and the head cross country coach. He was like, you're going to have to get a handle on that guy. Because Harvey Glantz was like less is more, less is more.
Right.
And, and for me, it was like, you need to work on your speed. You got plenty of endurance, So, but for me, it always worked out better just to run a lot of miles. But yeah, so 5 years of running in college and stuff, and then ran a little bit afterwards trying to be competitive still, because there was like this, like the concept of trying to make it to the Olympic trials for the marathon. Like I knew I was going to be close, but probably like a long shot. The time that I had hit was like 2:22.
Yeah.
And I had hit like 2:33 without any training specifically for marathon. That was just in the middle of cross country season. I hopped in a marathon. And so I was like, okay, definitely 2:25 is definitely like within range. 2:22, I don't think was
That's a stretch.
Realistic. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Great question.
yep.
High school Matt versus high school Evan. Who wins in your discipline?
Oh,
In your
I would have
distance.
beat Evan pretty soundly. But Evan was a
more of a soccer player, but
yeah.
he was still doing that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. It was kind of in him a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, that's just it has nothing to do with like who's better or worse. Like I was specific to running, and
Giving
he
you
was
a chance to talk a little smack.
Yeah, and my Ironman time is still faster than Evan's.
Yes, it is.
So there's a lot of trash talking that I can do with Evan.
Yeah.
But Evan is running really well, and his half marathon is faster. Like my PR in the half marathon is from the split in the marathon, but he's like running faster than I ever ran in the half marathon. And I think like he's not faster than my 10K times yet, but he is really coming around.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he can be faster than I ever was. I think if he ran a marathon, he could go faster than I did. Like I just think he's really turning into a good runner.
Oh, yeah. What about collegiate Matt versus collegiate Evan? Because we know that he kind of started to get away from the soccer stuff.
It would have been worse because I was faster.
You got
in
even
college.
faster, and he still.
I was okay in high school, and then I got a lot faster in college.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would you say the highlight of your college running career was?
Well, I was like, I mean, it doesn't seem like as much like when you win something like state or championship or whatever, it's cool. But like, I think I ran best at NCAA regional championships. I think I was like 14th in the region. I beat a lot of All-Americans and things like that, and qualified for the NCAA championships and all this stuff, and then got to go to the NCAA championships, which I got my butt kicked at. But
still, you made it to the NCAAs.
yeah, and I ran like 31. I don't remember 31, 40 or something like for cross country, which was good in the 10K. Like it was a good, like I had, you know how it is. Like you sometimes have those days where you just have a good day.
Yes.
And at a bigger race, like the regional championships, it was like a good deal. And like my family was there to see it and all this cool stuff. And it was just like having a good day at the right time of the season. And so I think that's kind of the peak for me as far as like when I raced well, and I guess I would say hit my potential for what I could do.
Okay.
Yeah. So then you kind of hope that you can keep doing something like that, especially at the NCAA championships, which I didn't have that great of a race, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I was still happy.
You made it there.
I think it's one of those things where like I was old enough to realize like you only get to go to the NCAA championships once in your life or whatever. For me, it was.
Yeah.
And I knew that. And so it was just like, I knew to just suck it up. Even if you didn't have the greatest race, you're going to enjoy it. Like just have fun with your friends and your family and blah, blah, blah. And just be like, yeah, whatever. The race I didn't do that bad. I think I went 32 mid or something like that, which is not great for me. But still, it was like, you still got to be there at the NCAA championships, and you just got to soak up those experiences.
That's a huge accomplishment to make it there.
Yeah. So that was it. That was prime time. And it's all been downhill since. Now I'm with you guys.
Now you're stuck at this table.
All right. Sub 10 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Ironman.
Oh, maybe that's the peak.
You did go sub 10 hours at, I want to say, Ironman, Arizona.
That's correct.
Yeah.
What was your time there?
9:55.
9:55.
So that race was great. It was. I don't think I was actually. I think I've been in better shape before. Like running wasn't unbelievable or anything going into that race. I think bike shape I was in pretty good shape, but like in swim shape. But I got off the bike and I kind of wanted to go 5 hours because it's just a nice big number. Like there's these nice big numbers like swim an hour, bike 5 hours, run 3 hours, right? Or there's these big numbers that would be great to hit. And so I got off the bike and I was feeling good. I think I went 5:12 or something, or 5:10. Oh, maybe I went under 5:10. I don't remember. I got under something and it was decent. I had a decent bike. I got off the bike and I started running and I looked at the first mile and it was like, I don't remember what exactly, but it was like 6:15 or something like that.
Way too fast.
Stupid fast.
Yeah.
And so a realistic goal would be 7:30, 8 minutes. So it's hard to describe how dumb that pacing was. So then I didn't look at my watch for the next mile split, but then I caught like the third mile or something. And it was still 6:30 pace.
You're like, I'm digging a hole. I can't get myself out of.
I was like, well, I'm feeling good. I guess I should just kind of chill. Right around mile 14, 15, I was just, this is not going to be good.
Yeah.
And then by like 18, I started to think to myself, like at that point, you're thinking like, okay, I'm going to go like 9:30.
Yeah.
And I started to think about like, I might not break 10 hours anymore. And because that was like kind of the only goal. Like I knew for that particular race, there's a lot of European people that come over, they go and they qualify for Kona. They're very, very fast athletes that go to that particular race. And I told my wife, I was like, I need a hilly course to qualify for Kona because just my body type would do better in that particular situation. And so she was disappointed when I was like, you're not even going to try to qualify for Kona. I was like, well, this race is not set up for me to do that. But I do think I will have a PR and it'd be great to break 10 hours. And then I started to think in the race, like, I'm not even going to do that.
Right.
And so I got like, because there's a hill at mile 22. You basically do the same loop twice. And so you hit this hill at 22. And I was just in struggle. You've been there, the struggle bus.
I've been on the struggle bus.
And I was so pissed at myself. I was like, I got this thing in the bag, breaking 10 hours, and then to just blow it like that at the end.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that being so mad at myself helped in some ways that I was just like, I'm going to punish myself. And I ran the last 2 miles and I think it was, low 7s or something like that. Like,
you just buried it.
Just buried the last 2 miles.
Wow.
And went 5 minutes under. So it's like 9:55. But I didn't think I was going to make it for a while.
Great photo of you crossing the finish line. Or after you crossed the finish line, and it's like just looking like you laid it all out there, and your wife was, I think, leaning over, giving you like a kiss on the head or something like that. And which one of the boys was there? She was holding one of your boys. Maybe
it was Dash. I think
you have that as
Dash
like
was just born
cover art on one of your.
I use it for cover art for stuff, and actually,
it's on his
there
YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah,
there
it's
it
on
is.
my
Yep.
YouTube channel. Yep. Yeah, that's Dash. Gosh, he actually looks pretty old there. I thought he would. Oh, I guess it's 20. Okay, so 2017 was that year. So
that makes sense.
All the years are blurring together. So he was 2. Yeah. So
I remember when I first moved here, Kristen was pregnant with him, if I'm not mistaken, and that was like when Abby was just playing with your neighbor Lily, and she broke her foot riding one of those razor things.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah, and Beck was like kind of beside her, like, "Oh my gosh, my little baby girl's hurt." Yada. And, but like. Just so happened that it happened right next door to the LeGrand house, and there's a doctor in the house, and you might want to take her to the doc.
My wife was always like saying stuff like, "Don't wear sandals when you're on these scooters." Yeah, and I think she would even tell like the neighborhood kids. So it was like, "Oh no, the same thing happened that she's been warning about," and then it's
those things were in orthopedics. Like they retired on those things.
Yep, they're like, this is gonna pay for a lot of diapers.
I knew a lot of orthos back in the day, and they used to tell me like, "Oh yeah, those things that
razor scooters
bought my Ferrari."
Yeah, exactly. So. Yep,
crazy. All right, let's move on.
Moving on.
Matt LeGrand has a YouTube channel that we often talk about.
We do.
He's got almost 11,000 subscribers now.
10.8.
10.8.
Yeah,
And he's
10,800
now
subscribers.
widely regarded as one of the top YouTube.
Probably the best.
Well, not for nothing. Cinematically speaking, you do the best job out of all of those guys, and you provide good information.
Yes.
So you're
Best of everyone on YouTube, actually.
oh yeah, it's good times.
The best.
Yes. No. Yeah.
no
I've got
doubt
nothing
about
to
it.
say about.
Yeah.
So Matt's doing a great job growing his channel. He's doing good stuff, putting good information out there, making friends with lots of people, getting to rub elbows with some pretty famous YouTubers. What is your goal with the YouTube channel? What do you see for that
Probably
going forward?
conquer the other channels.
Conquer the other channels?
No, I think it's just.
Who's your daddy?
I think that that you and I have a lot in common with this, where it's just kind of like our artistic outlet, which
Yeah.
I think that, being in sports, like you never really think about like being an artist or being into art or whatever, but like this is the outlet for that stuff for me. And I think all humans should probably have some sort of outlet for that. And I love doing the cinematography side of things, and the
great job,
product
too.
reviews are super fun. I don't know why I like product photography and product videography, but it's been really fun to do. I also think that there's a lot of avenues that you can explore. Like I've been thinking about like documentary style stuff, and I did a kind of following Evan around, and I think I didn't do it justice. And there's 1,000 opportunities to do more stuff like this, right? But like, so if you go on the channel, you can check out it's like Pro Triathlete Training Day kind of video, and I think that these types of videos have potential to be decent.
They've
like
got
have
so
this-
much heart and soul in them, and it means a lot to you because you get to tell a story about
Yeah,
somebody. So
exactly.
that process is fun, whereas like you're going to do a product review, you've kind of got a formula that you follow,
Right.
and that's fine and well, but doing these other things that have a little bit of heart and soul,
They're
that means
good
like
too.
they're
Yeah.
not going to be as popular as,
Right.
say like whatever the latest and greatest watch is,
Yep.
but it's a lot of fun for you to get to tell that story. But what's more special about that is that's going to live there for
Right.
the rest of time, and Evan can go back and watch that and see like what he was doing in that moment of time, and that's kind of a special thing too.
I think that there's a lot of potential for stuff like that, like really telling a good story.
Yep.
And what I can tell, what I know about myself is that that's a piece that I have a lot to learn about. Like product reviews are great, like get the information to the people, and that's awesome. And I definitely am going to continue to do them. And I have a whole bunch more. In fact, I would love to do more of those, but I definitely think that the whole learning process is fun too. And I think like if we did a story on Lance, like it would be really cool to make the story to a point where, as people watch it, they're like just all in on like the buy-in piece, right? Where it's like, oh, is Lance going to do well at the cyclocross season? Whatever it is, right? And so everyone has this story, and it's a matter of presenting it in a way that's intriguing for people.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think I know how to do that yet, but it's definitely something that anyone can learn and develop that artistic process. So
That's something that I've
super fun.
always been super intrigued
Right.
and interested in about as well. And I watch a lot of
do you watch a lot of documentaries?
Well, documentaries as well as watching like how to do the whole storytelling process.
Right.
And I'd love to have. I just need more time to be able to do that stuff. And we're getting there. I'm getting there. And Lance has got all the time in the world. He's just waiting for me to like come knock on his door.
much.
But
I spent an hour and a half or 2 hours riding with Lance trying to convince him to start a YouTube channel on his own. Just like more vlogging style, because he he does cool stuff. And it's like,
and it
all you
doesn't
to do
even
is
have to
carry
be
a camera.
highly edited. You
It
just
doesn't
got to
have to.
like clip it all together and just put it out there.
Well,
People would eat that stuff up.
And I think that's one thing that a lot of people will critique my channel, and they'll be like, yeah, the editing stuff is awesome, but you don't have to do that. Like you can just post videos, and people would like, I would be just as popular or more popular if I just posted videos and didn't spend hours on the edits.
Yeah.
It's about getting the content to people that they're interested in,
it's-
where it's, like, or searching for.
It's kind
in
of like
some
DC
cases.
Rainmaker. I mean, he does
Oh,
some
man.
light editing, but he
does a decent job.
Yeah, but he doesn't spend the same amount of time in making it like he'll repurpose things, or like his transitions or his intros. They're pretty straightforward and simple. He doesn't spend the same amount of time, and he gets good quality stuff out there though, and he does it very frequently, and that's why he's the man. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, and so I think that if we can convince Lance to start a channel, I'd subscribe.
that would be fun. Well, he's actually got a channel.
You
but-
guys have,
I-
but
yeah,
you have.
kind
Well, I
of.
just think you guys have a joint channel.
yeah, yep.
But I think there's potential when he's out on the road to see see that.
This is
side
where
of things.
this is where I'm at, and this is the
You
ride
could
I'm gonna do.
You could start
and
a rock hounding channel.
I mean,
I
people
know.
already
Not
live
joking at all.
vicariously.
I follow about 8 different
Do you?
rock hounding YouTubers. Yes, yeah.
I think you should. I think it'd be amazing. I would watch
It's
it.
interesting.
Cool. Lance, you want to do the next one? Do you have that information at your fingertips there, buddy?
I do.
Yeah.
Something
Matt,
embarrassing.
Yeah, Matt still has the Lower River Road coveted KOM. So
I don't even know. Which one is that one?
looking on Matt's Strava page, he still has, I think, 4 or 5 riding KOMs.
Is it one that like the road is closed now?
We don't have to discuss that.
Let's not go into the details on what. Well, here's the thing.
road's
Like,
been
I'll go
closed
if I
down.
go snag a KOM, then we talk about it on the podcast. Like 20 people go out there and they're like, "Oh,
This is true.
This is also true. People go
Damn you guys! This podcast is killing me."
One of the KOMs Matt has is the whole Washougal River Road from the top down. He has the whole
Washougal River Road.
Washougal River Road.
That's
It's-
a sketchy road to ride on, but I bet you Matt was on his TT bike, and I bet you he was
guaranteed.
flying because he wanted to get out of there because he didn't want to deal with the cars.
That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's an 11-mile segment.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
That Matt did,
Was it back in,
averaging 24 and a half miles an hour. It was back in 2015. Unfortunately, it looks like it was the exact same day as Jake, and you beat him by a second.
Oh,
So you might have been sitting on Jake's
I was sitting
wheel.
on Jake's wheel. Guarantee. Okay, I remember some of those rides where I was just hanging on your wheel about to throw up. And I bet you I like started late or something. You know?
Right.
That's good.
It's a big, long segment, though. Just the fact that
Was it just you and me, or did you do that ride with the Tireless Fellow guys, or was that Corey Duncan? I remember that was the day that I met
I
like Carl
remember-
Bailey, and I was out there
Yeah.
with a few other guys that I had never met before, and that was the first time I met those guys and rode with them officially.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the day or not. Well, 2015 was probably
That's right.
after- it would have been.
Well,
around
was
then.
it in August?
It was September 20th,
No, that wasn't them.
2015.
Be you and me.
That was just you and me, probably.
Just trying to get away from the traffic.
No,
Maybe.
there's nobody else in the top 20 on that day.
Interesting.
Funny. I'm glad that I have you by 1 second. You're gonna
1
go out there
second.
and kill it.
That's
aren't you?
rad.
Now that we talked about it on the podcast, that one's gone.
Yeah.
Good.
So going back to KOMs, Matt.
Yes.
What is a KOM that you would like to take down? Is there something that you're like, I've always wanted that SOB, or I'm going to train up and get that one?
You know what I've always wanted, and I don't even think that's even possible. The hill by our house. It's just straight uphill.
Lackmus
Jasmine?
Lane? No,
Or
Lackmus Lane.
Lackmus Lane.
Yeah. That's
That
a beast.
I would love. I mean, I don't think I've had
It's
a
too
good
steep.
effort.
It's too steep. I've never had a good effort of it because
No,
it's so
it's
steep.
so steep.
Yeah.
But it's just because it's close to our house. I
Yeah.
feel like
You should
we
own
should
that.
own it.
Well,
you know?
there is
But
a
it-
segment that goes to your house called What's
yeah,
Up, ladies and gentlemen of the
That
internet.
one, that one is a coveted segment because you have to finish in my garage.
Pretty close to it.
pretty
Yeah,
close.
you're grabbing all brakes so you don't go through Matt's garage door.
Yes.
How come you don't own that one, Matt?
Because two yahoos battled it out, and you know what's interesting about that one too is you kind of have to take the hill, like you have to sweep into it, and you have to go wide, so you need someone like almost spotting you to make sure
yeah.
that there's no traffic coming.
Yes.
And we had Cassie go for the
QOM on it?
QOM.
Okay.
and she didn't get it,
Oh, no.
which I'm super surprised because she's fit.
Who has it?
I don't know, but we need to have her go after it again because
That's
I
funny.
know she can get it.
Huh.
We'll have her do that. That'll be fun. But I don't think I'm going to be able to get that segment now. I think it's pretty fast. I think Jake has it and Lance has it. You guys went back and forth a little bit. You guys were like within seconds of each other.
We're 1 second off of each other.
Holy smokes! Does that say
So who
900
has it?
watts?
It's Jake averaged 963 watts
I don't even. How is that even possible?
because it's only 27 seconds.
Oh my gosh!
But still, it's
That's
over
still a
900
lot of watts.
But here's the thing, though. 'cause
Holy smokes!
I can get to Matt's house in probably,
yeah.
how long does it take me to get to your house?
If you wanted
less than
to
a minute?
do it, if you wanted to do it fast, it'd take you 2 minutes.
Like,
maybe.
I can almost make it to Matt's house without even pedaling.
Yep.
Just literally
Yes.
going downhill and
Yeah,
hit that turn, and then you're going
maybe
to coast
a
up with-
pedal.
a couple pedal strokes to get there.
That's it.
So when I did it that day, I didn't warm up at all.
It was just
Came
like
down,
swoop.
swept in there. I'm like, let's just go for this right now. So it was totally cold on
Dang.
that. I don't know. We'll have to go back and
That's funny.
throw down on that one again.
Yeah. There, you know, the other one that would be cool, there's a segment that's called Matt's Favorite Road.
Oh,
and
yeah.
that's a coveted segment
Matt's favorite
as well.
road north and Matt's favorite road
Yeah.
south.
Those would be good to own.
I have-
So maybe I should do that.
I
but-
have the south one. You were
Do you
actually
really?
there the day that we went out and rode that day.
Oh, yeah.
And we were going
Well,
south, and there was somebody else that we ran into out there, at
I was
that
like,
time.
I'll lead you out, which didn't really help at all.
No. So I got the South, but the North one, I think Tonkinson or Mike Guyvan, who was on the podcast
I think
last
my
week.
guy then might have had
have that,
it.
so-
I don't know. But anyway,
And I'm surprised that one hasn't fallen because of the flogging rides, too, because we go through there.
Yeah.
So
it's a great road.
it's
Matt's
fantastic.
favorite north is Guyvan,
Yep.
Beef
Yep.
Mountains, and south is
Yours.
is you, Jake.
Yeah. Who's second on the North one? Is that Jesse Tonkinson?
Hold on, south. Oh, somebody cheated in a car. Hold on.
South?
You're
south.
like, let
Mine?
me flag this one.
You and I
Are
are
you
pretty
sure that
close.
Olga didn't? I think she rode that actually. I'm pretty sure Olga beat you playing. Or-
Possibly.
Let's see who else is.
Oh, hold on.
Who else
This
is
is
in the mix?
exhilarating
Yep.
podcast.
What are the
talk
questions?
here.
Yeah, I know. We're digging through.
Let's look up that a little bit more here.
It is Jake. You're second
I'm second
by 10 seconds
behind Guyvan.
behind Guyvan.
Wow.
Good Lord. I think Guyvan did have a little bit of a south wind that day, so I think he might have a little bit of wind assistance, but still, Guyvan's
Still,
legs
there's
are...
some hills.
520
There's kind of hill.
watts for a minute and 31.
Good Lord.
He's a beast.
Ouch. Matt LeGrand, creator of apps.
Oh, right.
Master of
Well,
all things apps and
yes.
Apple App Store, fun stuff.
Yeah.
What is the app that
day
you are
job.
most proud of?
Well,
I tried to plant the seed with him.
I know, right?
beforehand.
So we can. There's almost nothing that I can talk about because a lot of the apps that I do are prototyping for companies that I'm usually not even allowed to talk about. Sometimes I work for Nike. All of the time I work for Nike. But so a lot of times they'll have an app that's for some trade show or something like that. And they'll have me build that, and they'll do prototyping for some of their other apps that they have, which is really fun. Actually, if you get to do a prototype for something, it's pretty cool because it's kind of like you get to explore. Usually, it's like new features or something like that. Like we've done stuff where you'll like. If you're in proximity to something, like information pops up about a shoe. So they're exploring like stuff with stores and how you can like just really cool stuff. And then sometimes I'll get to do like 3D stuff where you're designing a shoe and it's a 3D object that lives on your phone and you can see it augmented reality style and things like that. So I've done some really fun projects that way. Really lucky to get to do some of that stuff because I feel like they should probably save that for their own, internal developers, like as almost like a gift to get, because those projects are really fun to do. The only projects that I think are on the store right now that people can look at, there's this motorcycle app that I was trying to show these guys before the podcast. And it's kind of, I don't know, I wouldn't really describe it like Strava because I don't think it is, but it's called Rally Moto Club, RMC. And it's cool. It's basically like
It's for like
motorcyclists.
Motorcyclists, kind of off-road rally type motorcyclists.
They have all different types of motorcyclists. They don't want to discriminate specifically against. They will suggest like certain types of bikes for certain types of rides. So they might have some sort of like off-road type of a ride, and they'll give like a bike suggestion for that, or events. So if you think about like a motorcycle event for some weekend or something like that, they may have that information listed on the app or whatever. And it's just really kind of like a startup company. And so they're kind of starting in like Portland, San Francisco, and LA. That's what the app looks like.
That's
people
cool.
People can check it out.
But
But
the arena switch back there,
a lot of times the apps that I make are very like weird designs. Like they're trying to do something unique and different. And this one, not to say it's like plain Jane, but it's like, it's not crazy, which I like.
Yeah.
I just like kind
Simple.
of normal apps where you're like, hey, here's this list of rides you can do, and you can click on it and you can go to a map screen or whatever. Like it's not like Strava's like that too, right? Where it's like, it's not, there's nothing crazy, flashy, whiz bang, 3D objects. It's just like, get the information that people want.
Yeah.
And I think this app is good at that as well.
I do miss that app that you once had. We've talked about
Yeah.
this before. The one where you have the photo and it would pull all of your Garmin
Data.
and
Yep.
you can overlay it on the picture that you took and use it for your ride posts. And it was kind of neat. You can see
Yeah.
you can see
That one was called, I forgot what that was called. Image. I don't remember.
something like that. That would
Anyway,
be cool to see again.
it
But
was,
I know it was a pain in the butt because I always changed the APIs.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of they charged you to, they didn't used to allow you to do that at all. And so it was kind of like hacking into their API system to pull that data.
Yeah.
And then just overlaying it over images. And so you would get stuff like you could chart the elevation on top of the image that you wanted to post. or
So
you could
power numbers and speed.
power numbers,
and-
speed.
yeah.
It was all kind
Elevation
of like
gain.
built into the image. I'm sure there's more apps that you can do that with now.
Maybe.
I'm sure someone else has come up with the idea. It's not the most creative.
What's an
idea in
app
the
out there
world.
that you like a lot that you wish you could get your hands on and just go to town on it and make it even better? Do you have anything out there that you like, this is almost so good, but it's just missing for me?
For my entire life, I've wanted to do like a event management piece where like you basically it's the whole concept. Like, I mean, this is not new. Like active.com or, Ticketmaster, they all do
Sure.
this thing where they, I always wanted to make like a full suite of tools for like race directors where it's like, come in here, you use this, and then that convenience fee goes back to the app or whatever it is.
Oh,
But like
yeah.
the goal of the company would be like race director tools, like give everything that you think you could possibly use. Like we want to build tools out for you. And what do you get? Well, we get a small percentage of that, transaction fee. I think that those things make good money. And I think companies like Active I don't like them.
Active sucks. We use them for team pages and they suck.
I think
Sorry.
that they are, they're out to make money and they do not have your best interest at heart. And so I think a company, and there are a lot of alternatives now, but like my original plan to do this, 20 years ago was like, oh man, that would have made a killing. I should have pushed hard to do that. It's all right.
yeah.
But I mean, I always knew, like, I even like started building it like a ton of different times. And I was just like, this is a lot of work and I've got paying gigs to do. I don't regret my decision or anything like that. It's just one of those like itches that I wish I could have like fully explored.
Yeah.
Because I think it would have, obviously I think it would have worked. It could work. I mean, that's when Active became popular back in the day.
Right.
So,
Gotcha.
and they're like $1 billion company, I'm sure.
Yep. All right. One more. Got 3 great boys. And you got a
Yes.
wonderful wife, too.
Yeah, she puts up with a lot.
You and your wife are both, well, your wife's a national champion collegiately.
Yes.
She's what we would call the talent of the family.
And you're no slouch. So do you think your boys, do you have any aspirations for your boys, or do you think they will accomplish some pretty cool things?
I don't know. So this is a weird thing. Like we're all parents sitting around the table here, and I think you get a different perspective when you've been a parent for a little while. But I think you want your kids to have like the positive experiences that you've had. And what's interesting is my wife and I both had positive experiences of collegiate athletics, and a lot of people don't. They go to collegiate athletics and they have a horrible time, and they, are just like mistreated or just have bad coaches or just have bad experiences or, told that they need to lose weight or, lots of just bad experiences at the collegiate level. But the two of us did not have bad experiences. We both enjoyed it. We both worked hard. We both had like she was successful and, and we just had a good experience. And so we want that for our kids, but we also, I think, know that it's not super realistic to just be like, oh yeah, all 3 of our kids should do collegiate Division I athletics. Like that's not realistic.
If it happens, it happens. But
Exactly, right.
And that's what's nice is you guys have been there and you can help pave or like guide them down the path of like things that are of interest to them and like be a good resource for them.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like the pushy parent that's trying to,
Which that's the problem. It's like it's a fine line when you're like, I want my kids to run, and I just think it's such a good sport, and so they're all like no. But then they're all super into swimming right now, and it's just like it's way too early to be thinking like, are they going to swim in college? Like
It's too
probably
early.
not.
Yeah.
Who knows? They'll probably change their mind 5 times, and
Yes,
that's
they will.
perfectly fine. I just but as a parent, you start jumping the gun, thinking like, well, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to work hard, and I don't know. It's that's my take on it. They'll have the potential. I don't know that they're going to be NCAA championships. I don't foresee that in their future. Like my wife's level was just a different.
First thing first. Let's
they can just borrow her
Let's
ring.
get into high school first.
Exactly.
Yeah. But when you've seen this before, like you see talent, it's like you see it early, and it's just like
That is true.
It's like a genetic. You're like basically a genetic freak.
Yeah.
And it's just like that happens to some people where you see it. Like I can see a runner, and I can be like, that person could be Division I runner. Like when they're, I can see it when they're like 8 years old.
Sure.
Like Alexa Ephraimson.
Oh yeah,
whatever her
it's
name
like,
was.
she can be an Olympian.
Yes.
It's just like you see it, and it's like not 100%, but it's just like they have the potential. Whereas the other 99 kids that you see, can work hard and great and whatever, but they're never going to have
Yeah.
that. And so like, not to throw my kids under the bus, but like, they're not going to be Olympians. I don't think that, but I hope that they want to do collegiate athletics, because I think we had such a good experience that I would hope that for them.
Yeah.
I actually think that having that level of talent and potential would put a lot of pressure on them, and that would be a lot of stress that we wouldn't necessarily want for our kids anyway. So
I felt a lot of that with my own kids, because
you've gone through all this.
I've gone through all of it, and like I didn't want to put the pressure on my kids to get results, because I didn't feel like that was it's too much pressure for a kid. So I just kind of let them
figure it out,
find their places. I mean, my daughters are very athletically gifted. They didn't do athletics.
Yeah.
Darby played soccer, and she was very good at soccer, but they got more into other things, you know.
But that's the cool thing, is like you have perspective now to be like, look at them, they're super successful.
And they're
all
super
three
fun.
of them
Yes.
are just like super successful, good, balanced kids.
Yeah.
Like that's what you want for your kids. Like,
Yes. You want them to be happy and to find their niche and find their place and so.
You know, as a parent who's a competitor, as an athlete, you want them to do really well. But I, just like you, don't want to put pressure on any of my kids. I want to lay it out there and say, hey, if you want to do these things, here's what you need to do. This is the path to that avenue. But you don't have to do that. There's not going to be pressure. I just want you to, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it, and you're going to try your best.
Right.
But we understand that, like, that's not the end all be all. And like my oldest daughter, she's a really good athlete.
Right.
She had potential to be a really great soccer player, but she just didn't want to put in the work. But in the end, that's not a bad thing.
No,
I mean, she put in the work. She went to practice and all that other
Yeah.
stuff. But she is turning out to be one hell of a scholar, doing fantastic things.
cool.
Already getting in, like as a sophomore in high school, getting into like special like programs for medicine, where she can like kind of stream or like leapfrog like people to have more opportunities when she goes off to college and whatnot. And she's taking honors and AP classes and getting A's, and she's doing fantastic. And I'm almost more happy that she didn't try and do the whole soccer thing and
because it's a distraction from everything else. Like I see this with people where maybe I was this way in some ways, where you're like, running's all you got, buddy. You're not that great. You're not that great of a student. So it was kind of one of those things where it's like the people that have other avenues, they're just more balanced.
Yeah.
Which I think is what you want for your kids.
So my daughter is staying fit. She's creating relationships with other people. She's learning life lessons from athletics.
Yeah.
And getting the whole like staying healthy and all that other stuff. But she's really focused in on the education part of it, which is going to pay way more dividends for her.
Yeah.
So that part's been fun. And I think that she's one of those people too, probably a little bit like me. Like I didn't really realize my athleticism until I was probably in college or even after college. And I think that she'll be one of those people, probably mid-20s, like she'll discover like, oh, I'm really good at fill in the blank. And it could be soccer, it could be other things.
Oh,
and
I can win a marathon with very minimal training.
Right.
Yeah.
So she'll be a really good age
something like
grouper kind of person. Sorry, people
That's your
calling me
daughter calling you.
Yep.
That's Google calling me.
Yep.
Anyhow, so that's kind of what I take away from this, and I'm happy that I get to sit at a table with two other guys. Evan, when he has kids, will probably say the same thing, or you never know. Maybe he's gonna like
pressure's on. Pressure's on.
You will be a pro. But that's good. Cool. I don't have any other questions for Matt LeGrand. Lance.
I think we have
Covered
run through our things that we wanted to highlight of the one and only Matt LeGrand.
One and only.
Anything else that you would like to say to us?
Thank
on
you
this
guys.
glorious-
This has been, I'm not doing a lot for my birthday, which is awesome. It's very going to be low key or whatever, but this is like the highlight. This is awesome. This was it. Chatting with you guys, just, getting the chance, because I missed out on the previous podcast, and I've missed out on maybe 2 in a row or something. I don't know. But it's just nice to get to hang out and chill with the guys and not, be stressed about all the work stuff and all that stuff, and just hang.
There you go.
Just chill out.
I like it.
And the gifts. I'm mostly here. I'm mostly here for the gifts. Yes. Shower me with gifts.
Maybe we'll have to send you home with a few other beers too. Those may or may not have been hanging around here for
since
a couple
2000
of weeks or months or
since 1980, according to the bottle.
All right. As we do with every podcast, how about one last thing before we get out of here? Lance?
Treat your kids kindly and don't
There
put so
you
much
go.
pressure on them.
Hey, there you go. Mr. Matt LeGrand, one last thing on your birthday.
So by the time this video comes out, I'll have a birthday video, which you guys can skip if you want to. But I'm probably going to put out an April 1st video, like April Fool's kind of video.
Chester.
So it won't be Chester. Chester will not be involved. I don't
Chester
think.
needs to make
Chester will make
an
a comeback.
appearance.
He's hard to keep off the channel. Even if you try to keep him off the channel, he doesn't.
He wants it.
He wants it back in.
He gets it.
But,
Cinco de Chester.
Yeah, maybe. But there'll be some sort of April 1st video, hopefully, if I can get something put together. And so check it out.
That was a great one last year with Chester. The year before that was the Casio watch, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds correct.
That
to me.
was a classic, and I think that one
How
was
to Cheat on Zwift. Yeah, How to Cheat on Zwift has Chester in there.
Yeah. How to cheat on Zwift
What I'll
like
do
a
is
man.
I'll put like a man. That's what you call it. Whenever April 1st video I will link some other videos at the end
you
of it.
haven't done it yet. That's coming up on Friday, right? Of this week. So it was
Don't
in the past.
remind him.
Just remind him. Yeah.
It's this Friday.
It's a
It's
couple
this
days
Friday.
from now.
You and normally for something fun like that, if I have an idea, I'll try and work ahead. And I have yet to. I have some ideas, but I haven't done any work yet.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned,
people.
My
Get to work.
One last thing is hopefully I can find some cool gravel trails to ride.
Oh,
in
yeah.
San Antonio, Texas.
You'll find something in Texas.
But more importantly,
Oh,
it's Matt's birthday today.
It's your birthday today.
Matt! You guys are good.
Yeah. You got talent.
You could take this band on tour.
Matt! Matt,
Very
we appreciate you. Happy birthday, my
Thank you,
friend.
guys. Thank you, thank you.
And we look forward to doing this again.
Next year.
Next year.
Yeah. All right, we are going to cut out of here. We'll be back next week, which is in 2 weeks.
Probably.
But a week from when you're listening to this with another podcast. If nothing goes south at Mudslinger or Texas or whatever Matt's doing with his surgery.
I'll be in here and Lance will wheel me in.
Perfect.
So until then, we will talk to you later. And yeah, I'm going to blabber on here and say, yeah, that's all, folks. Bye for now.